Bastards with heroes rise, the dying world's still burning skies. Crushing head with power we fight, strength that breaks you, night in the night. Where the brawn meets the brawn, just stories told in this land of imagination mold. With every stroke, adventures unfold, peace in my soul, soul and soul. Guidance in hand and worlds to explore, roll the future, hear the dice roar. Gaming realms of muscles drawn, together in this place where we belong. Doting spells, casting dreams until the dawn, leveling up and the world's in our own. With painted heroes shining bright, venturing onward in the endless night. Where the brawn meets the brawn, the stories told in this realm of imagination mold. With every stroke, the vengeance unfold, peace of our soul, our soul. Where the brawn meets the brawn, just stories told in this realm of imagination mold. With every stroke, the fate you might fall, peace of our souls, our soul.
Hello people, happy Friday, we are here. We were starting tonight's stream with the pumping vibes of the theme tune to Minis-N-Muscles, because it's the only place to be on a Friday night at 7 p.m. is here with me, Steve, on Minis-N-Muscles, the place where the brawn meets the brush, where we talk about everything and anything really to do with the geek world, from painting miniatures, which I love to do, all the way through to playing games like Dungeons and Dragons, Warhammer, collecting things like comics and Pokemon and all the rest of that sort of good jazz, even retro gaming and modern gaming too. So this is the place to be. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you all? Squarish is in the chat already. Hi Squarish, how you doing, brother? Hope you're all well. So, how is things? And if I'm looking down here, by the way, guys, because normally I have my notes up here on my iPad, left some stuff over my buddy's house just now, and yeah, so I'm kind of without props, but it's okay. We will get through it. So. Thank you all, and that, by the way, that squeak was my chair, not my backside, just in case you were wondering. So welcome to tonight's stream. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on. Hey, Red Jasper, how you doing, buddy? So tonight, what do we want to talk about? General topics for tonight. The general topic for tonight's show, and tonight's show is going to be slightly shorter. It's only an hour and a half tonight, rather than the 2 hours, but don't worry, we will get through. We will still have a good time. But general topic for tonight is going to be sort of the geek culture and mental health benefits. So just talking about mental health and doing geeky stuff and how cool it is to do that to help with your own sort of mental health, whether that is in a struggle environment or whether that's in a positive environment, either or. So we'll talk about that in our general discussion, so feel free at any point to hop into the chat and start talking about that. Oh, Gav's in there saying Fortnite in an hour and a half then. Unfortunately not, brother, unfortunately not. Squarish is saying much better than last week. Severe case of the man flu, now chilling and listening while writing tomorrow's Candela subject. Oh, fantastic. I'm glad you're feeling better, Squarish, and you're on the recovery. Gav, no Fortnite tonight, bro. No Fortnite tonight. Unfortunately, I'm just over a mate's house, but maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday. That could be a Fortnite night. But apart from that, muscle moment this week. So during halfway through the show, we always talk about the muscle sort of factor, the fitness factor for about 10 minutes or so. Just a quick chat. And it's sort of finding fitness motivation. I personally have been struggling with that over the past couple of months. So actually, that's a prime reason to talk about it and what we're going to do to counter that, and maybe some tips and tricks that you can pick up on the way to help you in your fitness journey. And what else? Our painting continues. However, the painting continues, but not tonight on our Kit Bashed emulator. The Kit Bashed emulator is over my mate's house along with my iPad, which has... because I'm playing a game of Warhammer. I was playing a game of Warhammer over there for the past hour before the stream. So I was playing a game of Warhammer over there, and I was using the emulator that we've been painting on the show. Hasn't done a great deal so far, and I'm the last round, I kind of got a bit of a butt whooping. So I lost quite a few models in that last round. So yeah, not good. Not good to talk about, not good subject, but we do have a couple of models to paint here tonight. Of course we do. It wouldn't be Minis and Muscles otherwise. So we have a couple. We have this Pentanon engine to paint, which is quite cool. We have a Battle Sister Dialogus to paint. We have a Battle Sister Hospitaller to paint. And we also could paint, if we wanted to, we could start this Eldari Knight. So we have this guy to paint as well. So out of the four of those, if I'll go through them again, we've got the Pentanon engine. So he's quite cool. He's got some sort of twin buzz blades. He's got a cool walker kind of creature, or robot rather. You've got the Dialogus, the Sisters of Battle Dialogus, who's shouting and screaming for the Emperor and everything else religious across the battlefield. And then you've got Hospitaller, who is there fixing a dead battle sister, and she brings people to life. And then lastly, obviously, we have the Knight, the Eldari Knight. I do collect some Eldari as well, and that'll be going in a yellow colour. So chuck it in the chat to tell me what you would like for me to paint tonight, and I will start painting those. Returning to the chat, Jasper's laughing at me for getting all my stuff. Yes, I will allow you to laugh at me, not a problem. I've just realised I didn't start our background music. So let's start that off. It's actually running through my phone tonight rather than through my iPad, which it normally is. But, you know, don't worry about it. It's all good. Squarish is saying nerd culture and sports both ways that I've found a lot of support through my mental health. So this should be an interesting listen. Yeah, absolutely. And really, you know, they're two things that are very close to my heart. So I think it's quite an easy chat. A difficult subject, but an easy chat to have with you guys and girls as we go through all of this. But yeah, and let's start. So come on, bung it in the chat, guys. Let me know what model you want me to start painting. Pentanon engine, so just put engine if you want this guy. If you want the Dialogus, press shout or type shout. If you want the Hospitaller, press heal. Or if you want the Knight, press Knight or type in Knight. I don't know why I'm saying press Knight. You can't press Knight. You can't press engine. Type into the chat engine, shout, heal or Knight. Engine, shout, heal or Knight. Choose one of those, stick it in the chat, type it in, stick it in the chat, and we'll start painting one of those. But hopefully, if anyone else is ready, you've got your water ready, you've got your wet palette ready. I have mine ready, although my wet palette is looking rather dodged, where I stowed it a little bit off-centre. But anyway, yeah, so let's start. Whilst we're waiting for a few of you to jump in the chat and tell me what model you want painting, let's start with our chat around mental health and sort of the geek culture as a whole. So let's think first of all what we do here on Minis and Muscles, right? We do a lot of painting. It's primarily painting that we do here, and one of the biggest things in life that we find ourselves struggling with, and everyone struggles with this, and there's not one person I don't think that doesn't, is stress. Stress is a huge killer. It's not good for anybody, and it really does, whether it's give you more grey hairs or whether it gives you fatigue or mental drain or anything like that, then you know it. Oh, hang about. Squarish is jumping in the chat and he's saying, I vote shout. Okay, so you're voting Dialogus, so you're the only person that's voting so far. So this is the model that will be preaching your Candela Obscura campaign. So we'll bring her onto the table unless anyone else votes in the next few seconds. But yeah, the mental health side of the world and the stress side of the world, I found, and this is again through personal experience, not through studying or research, but there is research to complement this, but I'm not going to talk about that. I'm just going to talk about personal benefits that I found. It's a huge stress relief, painting models. It's the fact that you take this silly little plastic model, right, which is actually, in the grand scheme of things, absolutely nothing, completely obscure, doesn't really matter at all. But you take this model and you sit down, you absorb yourself into a moment of concentration and painting. You can put some music on in the background and you can sit there and slowly paint. And it's a bit like stroking a cat, and stroking a cat reduces stress levels. It's like paint strokes when you're doing your models. Absolutely 100% reduces stress from my personal experience. I don't know if you guys have found that when you've been modelling or when you've been gluing them together or painting indeed, whether you've found that it's just like you can fall into an absolute trance and a zen just looking at these models and just slowly picking up detail and painting through them. So, you know, it's a really helpful thing to absorb yourself into, because you lose yourself and immerse yourself in that singular task. It's a little bit like gaming. Gaming is the same thing. So, you know, Gav was talking earlier about Fortnite, right? So, Gav loves to play Fortnite. And he absorbs himself into playing games. It's the same thing. So whether it's retro gaming, modern gaming, painting, if you can absorb yourself and take yourself out of this stressful world and place yourself into an environment that is that takes all your brain power. Oh, we've got fireworks going, but takes all your brain power away on the thoughts that you have on a daily basis to zone you into something. It's super stress relieving, because for that moment you get a break from the world. When I'm painting these models and chatting to you guys, I get a break from the world. And talking of break, I will pause now because we're actually going to paint the Dialogus. So Squarish was saying that he wants the Dialogus, which is a shouty character. This character actually, let's drop in here. So this character actually, on the battlefield in a Warhammer game, is there for a couple of things. It's to inspire the others around, so they shout sort of religious script and things like that across the battlefield to encourage those battle sisters to win. So that's what this lady here does. So we're going to paint her today and see how far we get. Let's place the others to one side. I might just pick up the others at some point as well and dabble with those two. First thing I wanted to do on this model actually is just get a lick of paint across the base. So I'm going to be using just this technical mud to begin with, and an old knackered brush. It's old knackered dry brush. And all I want to do first of all is just to get some colour into the base is just put this brown across here. Doesn't matter if it goes up onto her robes or her habit or anything like that right now. That's absolutely fine. I just want to get some brown onto here to represent a bit of dirt. Usually with my models what I do is I actually end up sticking some grass on and putting some grass flack, whether it's tufts of grass or whether it's completely across the top, but just having that brown mud effect underneath helps massively for oh crikey, helps massively for giving that sort of realism. I'll just sort of put some splashes up on the side of her robes as well, as if she's sort of been through the battlefield a little bit. So let's just stick that on there like that. What I'm doing is just dabbing on with the brush. I have got to put some colour on her butt. That's not a problem. We'll get to that. I'm going to grab the box actually whilst we're here, just so we can see a bit more of the colour scheme. But I've just layered her down with a little bit of brown. So let's zoom in a little bit so we can get a bit more of a better look at this model. So she's got plenty of cool little things on the model itself. So if I just tilt her that way, you've got this sort of dais that's sitting at the front there, where she can place her books and scripture on. She's actually carrying some kind of scroll. That's quite nice, so we can do some fancy art if I can manage to do it. And she's got a book across the back as well. She does have this sort of halberd type pole as well for beating people. And then on the back, it's just her power pack, it's a pistol, and some other sort of relics that she carries. So she's quite a cool little model with a lot of little design pieces. Bearded Veteran's in the chat. He's saying, "Evening, Steve. How are you doing, Bearded Veteran? I hope you're well, buddy." So if I just move myself in here, so this is what she should look like once painted, right? So that's the kind of effect we're going for. I am sticking to the box art kind of style purely because the Sisters of Battle, all the box art is done in the paint scheme of our Martyred Lady, which is a colour scheme for the Sisters of Battle. There's a couple of them. That is one. My army is this colour scheme, so I will be sticking to that as best I can, just to give me a little bit of guidance on what to paint, or how to paint rather. So we've got the brown on there for the base. Let's get some red out, shall we? Red's always a lovely colour. So how are we all doing? How has our week been? We managed to get through it, guys. We have made it. You have made it. I have made it. We are here on a Friday. Have you had a good week? That's my question to you guys. Whilst we get some colour on this lady. So on a continue of our theme this evening, so our theme being mental health and sort of how geeky hobbies can help and assist with that. I've just realised when I did the brown up the sides of robes, actually, I should have done it at a later point. What an idiot, because I've got to go over it as red now, but never mind. But yeah, the topic for today is around mental health, so if you want to jump in and talk about it, absolutely feel free. I'm not asking you to share your personal experiences unless you want to, or I'm not asking you to sort of delve into the deep dark histories of your lives, but if you feel like you want to jump in and chat about it, absolutely jump in there and get on there and let's talk. But I was saying earlier that my experiences with painting enabled me to escape from the world that is pretty harsh 9.9% of the time, or 99% of the time, sorry. The modern world is so full of stressors. It's not like 15 years ago, it's not even like 10 years ago really, but 15, 20 years ago. Let's take you into the workplace, right? If I used the role that I'm doing now, which is a sales role, right? Sales is super competitive, super turbocharged, and you always have to be on it. If I just take myself back to a sales role, 20 years ago, even the fact you didn't have mobile phones that were connecting you 24/7 all the time, I'd be driving to clients rather than organising online video calls, for example. So you would have downtime in the middle of your working day to do X tasks because you didn't have these fancy systems to do it for you. And that's prevalent across lots of different roles, not just sales. It doesn't matter if you're an engineer or it doesn't matter if you're a nurse. People are contactable 24/7. And although companies don't say it, they kind of expect you to be there at a beck and call. And that's what makes the stress levels higher nowadays. One of the factors that makes stress levels higher nowadays than what they previously were. I'm not saying that things weren't tougher in the 60s or the 70s or the 50s or the 40s even, but they were different types of stressors. Generally, it was more physical stressors back then. Now it's more mental stressors. And life is hard, very hard, and having something to take your mind off of, or give your mind a little break, is really, really good. The way to think about your feelings and you as an individual is that you have credits, much like a bank, right? You have credits, so your mental health perhaps has 100 credits, right? And with those 100 credits, the more you give out and the more stress takes away those credits, the less you have left in the bank. If you go down to 0, it's going to be a very difficult time for you, because you're going to have no credits in the bank. You're not going to have any energy or anything to be able to complete tasks that you need to do, and that's when things start going over the edge. And I've been in jobs and I've been through moments myself that are identical to that, where you just cannot escape from these pressures, and it's absolutely horrible, and you end up falling into a massive trap of doom and gloom, and it's quite easy to get lost in that and lose yourself. And that's no shame in that, by the way. Definitely not no shame. I've been there myself, where you end up having to take yourself through that personal journey, whether that is through depression or anxiety or something like that, and finding yourself on the other side of things. What we're saying in chat, Bearded Veteran saying all good and he is well. He's just sat with his wife Katie helping her to make Christmas cards whilst you watch the live. Oh, thank you very much. I hope you and Kaylee are happily banging through those Christmas cards and sorting them out and getting them done and dusted. God, I wouldn't want to be doing Christmas cards or making Christmas cards, that's for sure. I'm not particularly good at that kind of stuff. I don't think I would be anyway. Maybe I'm being a bit too harsh on myself, but yeah, I always lose myself when I go off on a tangent. What was I saying, guys? Just remind me. I've forgotten already. If you're joining late and you're wondering why we're painting not painting our tank, it's because I was playing a game of Warhammer earlier with my buddy, and I actually completely forgot that I needed my tank for the stream. I also forgot my iPad, which has all my notes on, so all my notes are now on my phone, which is not the easiest to read. So yeah, so I kind of made a boo-boo there. So yes, and at the start of the stream I thought, oh, we best grab some models quickly, and these three were just on my table, so I just grabbed them and thought, right, we'll paint one of these this evening. Actually helps me out a little bit too, because I can use these wonderful battle sisters. So where was I in my story about mental health? So I was talking about that escapism part and how finding a hobby, and a geeky kind of hobby, is massively helpful to give you that break from modern pressures, just general pressures of life, because it is hard, very, very hard sometimes. So try to find yourself that hobby is what I'm saying. I always say to a buddy of mine, he's like, works really hard. He's possibly, actually, for working, he's I'd say he's probably my inspiration, actually. He's a top bloke, and he's my inspiration for work ethics, for how he conducts business, all of that, and I've learnt so much from him. He is an absolute legend, but he always works, and I really worry about him, right? And I'm like, mate, I was like, you've got to get yourself a hobby. And I'm trying to persuade him to get a hobby so that he, because I don't want him to burn out. He's a friend of mine, right? So maybe he won't, right? It might just be certain people that are more susceptible to burning out, and maybe I'm just one of them, right? But I always try to convince him to get a hobby of some sort. I'm like, you need to get a hobby, so I'm always on him about that, which is quite amusing. Yeah, escapism, get yourself out of there is my point. Get yourself out of the real world into a computer game, into painting, into reading fantasy novels. It could be anything that sort of allows you to fully submerge yourself into a different world. I have personally found that despite geeks and geek culture getting a lot of stick, actually geek culture contains some of the best aspects in the world to be able to do this and to be able to escape, where nobody judges you, nobody gives a damn what you do, what you wear, what you say, what game you play, or whatever it is. They just allow you to be you. And I think that's absolutely wicked, because the real world, outside of the geek culture, doesn't do that at all. The real world is actually super harsh on individuals, right? It's super what's the word I'm trying to think of? Critical. The real world is like super critical of people and how they do things, right? Whereas I found the geek world is not. You can do whatever you want, say whatever you want, and the geek world will love you and forgive you regardless. So it is super good for that. So yes, tip number 1 from this evening: find yourself that hobby. And I'm sure that majority of you, considering you are here, have that hobby already, and it is possibly model painting, or model creating, model making, whatever you want to call it. So I'm very happy to have you with me. And you can share in this glorious hobby that we call modelling. There we go. So at the moment, all I'm doing is just, I've got two reds to put on. I've got like a brighter red and a darker red. You can see from the two kind of tones here. By the way, this is going to be tidied up. It's just a light, thin colour because it is watered down on my wet palette. We're just going to slap on these colours and get her into some kind of state so she looks half decent, or half coloured rather. The decent part doesn't come till later. My models always look a mess until I get to a certain stage, and then they start to come together. When they come together, they do look pretty good, so good enough for tabletop standard, that's for sure. Just going to sneak in there into the little crevices. There's always a little tiny little bit that you can never quite get. Right, that's that side. Oh, excuse me. So, yeah, I would encourage anyone, even if you're the first time watching, is to jump over and find yourself a hobby if you're first time on the channel. Stressors. Bearded Veteran saying stressors. Yeah, plenty of those, man. Red Jasper saying I can bring them over, mate, if you want. No, it's completely fine, dude. Don't worry. It is not a problem. Not a problem at all. I've got the phone working and I've got all the bits and bobs, so we're underway. There is no worries there. Yeah, so stressors, there can be plenty of them, and it can be work. That's generally where mine come from. It can be personal life, and that could be, you know, with your immediate loved ones, or it could be like a family member or something like that. It could be sickness or illness, right? They're massive stressors for people. When people get sick and ill, it's not good. It's an emotional time, and it's very, very hard to see the light for the day, or see the wood for the trees, or have whatever phrase you want to use. And that's when you can turn to something like this and just immerse yourself and try to get past some of the harsh realities of life. Because like I said, 9 times out of 10 in this modern day and age, there's no escaping them. That's one of the things I think is the biggest issue with the world today, you know. That's why I don't really do social media. Although, talking of social media, I did start a Instagram page. I haven't posted anything on it yet. I know, for those of you who are already following me, I know I haven't posted anything. Maybe I will after this evening. But I'm just not really a social media kind of person. Although I do this YouTube channel, right, and I actually really enjoy this. But this is kind of massively different, or it feels massively different to standard social media, you know, where you have to contend with douchebaggery all the time and idiots. I just lose my patience. I think that's the problem. I'm just too grumpy. So, yeah. At the moment on this model, we're just covering the robe. So I'm just trying to get the robe done, or the main parts of the robe done. Just so she's sort of got a bit of colour on her. That'll be good. So what we're saying in chat. Oh, Pibsy. Hey, Pibsy. How you doing? Good to hear from you. Hope all is well. Before you ask, yes, I am losing right now on the battlefield at Warhammer 40,000. So if you joined now, or you're interested in what I was doing before this stream, so after work today, I started playing a Warhammer 40,000 battle with my buddy down the road, and the last turn was absolute killer for me. The last turn I lost a lot of models. He's got some really hard-hitting models with some incredible saves as well, so I really didn't have much, didn't really stand up to much, and I've lost a few models, so that's not so good. And it's about to end my shooting turn on the game, so when I go back later I'll finish that off, and hopefully I can actually get some kills back, because if not, it's looking disastrous. It's not looking good at all, so pray for me, pray for the minis and muscles. Pibsy, you're saying you love a comeback. Yeah, we certainly do, man. You got to pray for me, bro. I need it badly. But it's possible. It's possible. I have taken out one big dreadnought thing, I think, or maybe two. I can't remember. One or two. Red Jasper will jump in the chat in a minute and remind me of the stark reality where he said, no, it's not even one, you haven't killed nobody. I think I've done one squad, or killed one squad, and killed one Dread Knight, I think. Is it a Dread Knight? Is that what they're called? I think so. Yeah, part of what I wanted to talk about on the mental health side, and actually Squarish was talking about this earlier, is creativity. Now, Squarish, I'm going to use you as an example here, and I hope you don't mind, bro. Squarish runs Candela Obscura games, so that's tabletop role-playing game, a little bit like D&D with dice, you know, and you sort of roll dice to determine the adventurer's fate. But he sits there and writes the games and writes what happens in all of these. And that's another great way of expressing creativity, a bit like model painting, I guess. Creativity really helps anything that's creative, helps get rid of those blues and those downward sides of life and downward thinking, to sort of change your mindset a little bit. I don't know why. I don't know whether it triggers something, and maybe someone in the chat can jump in and tell me. Maybe we've got a doctor on the line. But there's something about creative tasks that seem to trigger the mind and inject, I don't know, whether it's like a chemical or something into the body where it just makes you feel good. Makes you feel real good. So I don't know why that is and what that is, but it certainly does do that. So you certainly get, you know, levels of serotonin that pump through your body just for doing stuff like this. And look, it's not harming anybody on a Friday night as well, when you think, you know, there's going to be a swarm of douchebaggery going on in your local town, right? But you don't have to be involved in that. You don't have to put up with absolute turd burglars. You can just grab a model, paint it, just chill and relax with some good people, with some good vibes, and you can just promote positivity. People might call me a bit of a hippie for saying that, but it's massively important. Rather than going downtown, wasting your money on a load of alcohol, which you're only going to get drunk, feel sick on, to then have nothing in your pocket and nothing to show. I mean, yeah, okay, so this is geeky and this is a bit sad, but at least I have something to show at the end of this. I can then establish relationships with friends through, let's take Warhammer because we're painting a Warhammer model. But you can establish friendship groups and networks through Warhammer. Playing games, so that's a sociable activity. Given the fact that we're sociable creatures, that then, again, inspires more of this positive outlook on life. So if you don't sit there for a couple of days and you don't speak to people, it's kind of gets you down a bit, right? It certainly gets me down. And I like going in the office and talking to people and having a bit of a chinwag. Not to waste time or to just talk, but just to be around people, because it gives you a positive, again, another positive sort of chemical boost in the body. So yes, creative tasks, very, very good. Hobbies, very, very good. So get yourself plenty of them if you can. So, what we got? Squarish is saying, losing lots of models is a standard turn when playing guards. Yeah, so you play Imperial Guards or Astra Militarum. They have lots of models. Sisters of Battle are a little bit like that. They're not quite as model heavy, but they're not tough at all, and they get absolutely hammered. So yeah, they do lose a lot, which is unfortunate for me, but they look cool, so that's the bonus, right? They look cool, but they die easy. Red Jasper saying 1 Dread Knight and a full strike force. Yes, that's what I killed. Mwaha. I shall take that to my grave and brag. So only bragging I'll be doing tonight. Well, I don't know actually. Could change. Could all change. Especially if I do well on this last few attacks that I've got. I've got a couple of squads left, and most importantly, I've got a big squad left. So, a big powerful squad. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out when we get there after the stream. So how's everyone's week been? Come on, we haven't heard anyone's week. Are you all right? Are you okay? Is everyone doing good? Hopefully you are. Hopefully you're keeping all right. Hopefully you're keeping sane and, you know, in good mind and good spirit. Filling in these little bits here. By the way, this looks real messy so far. It's not very tidy at all in terms of painting, but we shall get there. Don't you worry, because we always go back and tidy these up. It's the tidying up phase that brings the model to life. To begin when you're first slapping in paint, I find, I mean, again, we're not pros here on Minis and Muscles, we're just amateurs enjoying what we do, but I find that first stage of just getting paint onto the model really important, because it kind of inspires you to actually do something with it. Otherwise I get like a bit kind of lazy. I'm like, yeah, it's alright, I'll just leave it black and just use it as it is. But it's quite nice to get the model finished and painted. Although I say that, but I've got a load of squads that are sort of half painted, which is an absolute joke. But at least they're half painted. So we're slowly getting there. At this moment we've got the white, we've got white, we've got the two-tone of red. Okay, that'll do for that. So what's the next point on my talk? Yeah, we sort of talked about fostering creativity and how these sort of creative hobbies really do help you escape. So it could be, like I say, it could be like Squarish, who's writing his Candela Obscura tabletop RPG game, where he's writing the campaign and really getting into depth in, you know, building out and fleshing out this world. It could be reading lore on Warhammer, it could be painting, or it could be a computer game that has a sort of huge narrative story that you can just sink yourself into. Or maybe it is just full out, like we were saying earlier with Gav, it could be full out Fortnite and you're just, you know, playing a computer game and just getting sucked into the vibes of the game and, you know, hunting people down or whatever it is you're doing. So it's really, really good. Find that creative task. Squarish is saying, well, Bearded Veteran is saying, James, as in Squarish, his Candela Obscura sessions are awesome. So Squarish runs Candela Obscura tabletop role-playing games for Tactical Advance to Game, which is a military subdivision of Game Therapy UK. So it's for veterans and military serving personnel. So if any veterans and military serving personnel are watching this and you don't know about Tactical Advance to Game, take a look on Facebook, find us on there, join in with us. And you'll find us there. So we'd love to have you there. But Squarish runs one of the many games it's run, and he runs Candela Obscura. So Bearded Veteran is part of that, and he's saying he loves those games. Squarish saying he's always happy to use the example. I find sharing my experience to be one way to make something good come from what I went through. 100%. It's all about talking about your... well, actually, when you're ready to talk about your feelings and what's happened in your life and your past, it's actually quite therapeutic. What I found, and I've been through my own, I think I've said it on the stream before, I've been through my own severe sort of depression, anxiety, you know, suicidal kind of thoughts and feelings and things like that in the past. And by talking about it, and the more you talk about it with more people, actually, it's a weird thing, like talking about that actually makes it seem normal. Not that thinking like that is okay, but it is normal to think like that. Everyone will have a moment. It just might be that you as a person are stuck in that moment a little bit longer. And, you know, talking through it and talking about it normalizes it, so it's not this big stigma, because there's lots of sort of mental health things that have a huge stigma behind them, which is why a lot of blokes, especially, you know, blokes that, and there's, you know, quite a few blokes in the chat tonight, why we kind of hide behind this this sort of wall as such. So try not to hide behind that. Talk to your buddies and share those experiences, as Squarish is saying. Squarish is also saying he thinks creative games, there is also the advantage we can immerse ourselves in a world where those stresses don't exist. My players don't have to worry about a mortgage when they play. 100%. It's real life stresses. It's work, bills, loved ones, family, friendship groups, you know, your phone breaking. It could be absolutely anything, right? Absolutely anything in the modern world. Taking yourself away from that, shutting off from it. And that's why it's so important to do. He's also saying the stresses that do exist in the game can be neatly packed away until next time, which is not something we have the luxury to do in our day-to-day lives. Yes! So it could be painting, where you find a bit in your mod and you're like, oh my god, I've just cocked that right up. Or it could be, you know, playing a computer game and, you know, you've reached a really hard part in that computer game. You can turn it off and come back to it another time. In real life, you don't get the opportunity to do that, right? You know, it's 24/7. You're on this roller coaster of emotions, and emotions are good, but they can also be very tiring as well. So do watch out for them, because they can crop up at any unknown time. But talk to your buddies, talk to your friends, your family, about these things. It's really important, especially, I know, I'm not sure if I've seen any ladies on tonight on the stream, but if as blokes, you know, we're buggers for it. We don't talk about it, and another reason why, you know, I sort of talk about the muscles side of it is not because I think I'm the most muscly bloke in the world. I'm far from that, but it's trying to break down the stereotypes that people that are seen as muscly individuals or alpha males or leaders of the pack, or, you know, these sort of tough guys, can have feelings and can have emotions, and that's okay, because guarantee you it will get to you at some point. You know, most people, I would say, go through a moment in their life where no matter how tough you are, the scenario will be tougher because of everything that's going on in your life, and you may succumb to being emotionally overwhelmed. And I just want to make sure, you know, that everyone knows that that is okay to be emotionally overwhelmed. Absolutely okay. There's not a problem in that. So just be aware of it. Bearded Veteran is saying, I've found that having lots of creative hobbies has really helped me to sleep better because my mind isn't keeping me awake with creative ideas rushing around my head. Right? Yeah. So again, it's because you can, I think, come back to that sort of picking up, dropping off things. With these models, I can pick this up and I can put it down, I can finish it and walk away. Absolutely fine. It doesn't bring any worry. So, you know, if you can fill your head with a nice book or something like that before bed, or whatever that is, you know, you too can walk away from those stresses without it sort of consuming your life, and allow you to sleep better, because sleep is a major part of body functionality. Without that, you know, we're buggered and we can't function as, you know, 100% working humans. And that's not to say that you can't do a day or two or whatever, but cumulatively, if you lose a lot of sleep, that's not a good place to be, because it can really affect decision making, understanding, you know, it affects your emotions, it affects everything that motor skills, everything that you do. It does really have a big impact as your sleep gets deprived. So just be aware of that and just be aware that it could happen. What else are we saying here? My week has been good. We've not had some Christmas shopping finished. And my YouTube channel finally got monetized. Whoa! Nice. Monetized YouTube. Crikey. I'll get there one day. One day, Minis-N-Muscles will get there. We are over 100 subscribers now, so that's good. So I'm really chuffed with that. But keep sharing with your loved ones. Look, just go around your mum's house. Just say, Mum, just borrowing your computer a bit, and just sign her up to Minis-N-Muscles. She won't know. Sign her YouTube up. Just get her signed up. Just tell her to sign up. It's all right. Don't worry, Mum. It's just a channel for my mate. Sign them up. One day we'll get monetized. Hey, that'd be pretty cool, though. So congratulations, Bearded Veteran, on that. That's a huge milestone. Squarish sent. Also, my week has been good. Just a little bit of photo editing this week, taking half days and late starts while I recover. Oh, mate, yeah, recover, rest up, recover from that illness, and get yourself back on the road as quickly as possible. Butterfly Horse, hello. I'm not a very good talker. I do get lost in a book sometimes, like an escape. I'm not a very good talker. Butterfly Horse. Well, it doesn't matter that you're not a very good talker. You can display emotions in many ways, and people will be able to, or certain people in your life will be able to understand you from those emotions, even if you don't talk. You know, that's okay. People that know you will understand when you're down, or when you're off, or when you've, you know, not been talking much, or you've, you know, and they'll say, oh, how you doing? And, you know, they should, as a friend, they should just drop in, and it might just be, how are you, or how's your week been, or whatever. And there'll be people that care. You know, you can always, or anyone actually, it doesn't matter whether it's you, Butterfly Horse, or anyone on this channel, can always drop a message to me on the chat, on the comments pages. The email address for Minis-N-Muscles is on the main page, so drop us a message. If anyone's just feeling like they need to talk, drop me a message. I am not afraid to talk to people and help people where I can. I think it's very important to sort of, and this is again another reason why I built this page, is purely for a community, not to, you know, I mean, although I congratulated Bearded Veteran on his monetization, that's lovely, right? But actually, that's not the end goal for me. That, although it'd be great, and also I'm not saying, by the way, it's the end goal for Bearded Veteran. I'm just saying that, you know, for me, it's about a community of people that get along, can talk about some sort of similar passions in life, and just enjoy a bit of a connection, right? So Butterfly Horse, you're not on your own, all right? But a good book is a good escape. Doesn't matter what it is. But yeah, maybe writing a book. How about that, Butterfly Horse? What about writing a book? Would you? Could you? Could you? Yes. Would you? That's the question. Writing a book. I started writing a book ages ago, and then I changed my phone. No, my phone broke, sorry, and I lost all of it. 10,000 words. That's the most I've ever written in my life. Lost the whole lot. That was gutting, that was. Never mind. I may rewrite it again at some point. But yes. Anyway, I forgot what we was talking about. I was going off on a tangent, as we always do. So next part, actually, we're talking about community. I wanted to say about building communities, and how important that is for being able to keep your mental health at a good level, right? And again, when I talk about good level, I'm talking about, imagine you have 100, let's say 100 mental health tokens, and you know, the more you take stressors on, or the more you find yourself in difficult positions and things like that, you lose, let's say you theoretically lose a token. So you want to try and keep yourself topped up with tokens. So by keeping tokens, that means doing things that are good for you, and things that you enjoy, and things that allow you to move away from those stresses and those hardships of life. So, i.e. painting models, right? and things as such of that. So it could be you're writing your book, if you are Butterfly Horse. But yeah, so we're talking about making a community and making connections. When you join things like this here, YouTube channel, you know, you're joining a community of like-minded individuals that you can get on with and connect with and share that passion with, that then inspire you to do the same things that give you those tokens back. So, you know, it might be me painting here, right, tonight, and you go, oh, do you know what? I've never painted a model in my life, but Steve don't make it look that difficult. I reckon I could do that. Let's just have a little look at her. I reckon I could do that. And you then go out and buy yourself a model and start painting. Or you get your book, Butterfly Horse, and you just get lost in that book and find yourself in that world. And you come on here on a Friday and you just talk geek about it and say, oh my God, I read this book and it was so cool and this and that. And you start sharing it with someone. Then someone else chimes in and says, oh my God, yeah. And then you jump on the Discord together and you start having this whole conversation about the world that you enjoy and you have a passion in. And that's what is really about building connections, and why I wanted to sort of bring that into the conversation tonight. You know, the world is closed off enough as it is. Don't make it any more closed on yourself. Bring things to the forefront that you can express and enjoy with others. So that was that point. Hopefully I made a good enough point there on that one. If there's any thoughts though on that, do drop it into the chat. So the other thing I wanted to talk about as well is support networks. So your community can be your support network. So, you know, if you're finding that you're having sort of struggles in certain aspects or feelings or worries, there is always support that you can find through either your geeky friendship groups here on Minis-N-Muscles, or perhaps it's something else that you want to share and you need to talk to someone like Samaritans, for example. And you can speak to Samaritans and speak to a charity that can help advise, listen, coach, and just guide you through that motion. Now, again, I can only speak from my own experience, but 9 times out of 10, it doesn't matter really if the person that I was speaking to when I was in my lowest point was a qualified counsellor or a best mate. Actually, it's just speaking to a person and getting that weight off your shoulders, because what even a qualified counsellor doesn't do, they're not sitting there saying, right, Steve, so you're telling me you've got XYZ problem. The way to fix XYZ problem is this. And they give you some amazing solution to all your problems, and now you can apply that to life and just walk away and go, thanks very much, see you later, bye, and it's all done and dusted. It doesn't really work like that. So, you know, my point is here, of course, use the correct channels and those charities and advice and those services that are available to support you through any mental hardships that you might be going through. But 100% from my experience, I'd say, you know, lean on those that are in your friendship groups, that are in your close-knit circles, that are in your geeky groups, because you might find that they will understand exactly what you're talking about and be able to help you. Now, not in the sense that I'm going to come around your house and hold your hand and talk to you about XYZ, but actually it might just mean that you had that one conversation with me and I just said, you know, look, buddy, everything is okay, everything is all right, you're okay, and things are going to be okay. And it might just be something as little as that gives you one of those tokens back into your bank and allows you to get one step forward to the next day, to move forward again. And it's always about moving forward. One of my one of the best things that I was ever told was with sort of worries and things like that is that imagine it is like a cloudy day, right? So your worries are like a cloudy day, Now, when the clouds come over, the sun doesn't disappear and it doesn't just sod off to no man's land. The sun is always there, right? It's just partially obscured for a moment, for a fraction of time. And that is exactly how you need to view your situation. This is for a fraction of time and it will pass. And I always sort of remember that, and it's sort of to hold on to the fact that the sun is there, it's right there. I just can't see it at this given moment, but it is there and it is going to come back. And you know, having that little bit of faith in that is really helpful. And hopefully that little bit, that sort of comment that I give there is helpful to you guys. Hopefully. And if not, that's completely okay. I take no offence. I do get lost in times. Oh, Beat Adventure saying, cheers, buddy. Absolutely, it's all about building a community. Exploring Unseen. Hey, guys. How are you doing, Exploring Unseen? How's things? How are you? How's your week been? Come on, tell me. Tell me more. We want to know. So in case you just joined in Exploring Unseen, unless you've been here for the whole time, you've just been very quiet on the stream. I forgot the tank. I've left it at a friend's house because we were having a Warhammer battle. So I've had to paint a different model today. But that's okay. Because it's still painting, right? It's still cool. But that's what we're doing. We're painting this Dialogus is what we're painting. Like Sisters of Battle Dialogus. There she is. We're just sort of adding some detail into her at the moment. Just adding some colour. Just so she looks cool. Yeah, so support networks and communities. The next thing I wanted to talk about was, in fact, actually, we should probably do the muscle moment, seeing as we're here. Muscle moment. So we wouldn't be Minis and Muscles. We wouldn't be the place where the brawn meets the brush if we didn't talk about muscle moments, right? Because that's what we're here. We're here for. So Exploring Unseen is saying it's been good so far. I haven't been in that long. Oh, okay, no worries. So there you go. Then you got a little bit of backstory that I left the tank that I've been kit bashing at a friend's. I've been playing a Warhammer game with them. And I then had to find a load of unpainted models like these and say, what are we going to paint? What are we going to paint? And we chose this one. So we're painting our Dialogus, our lovely Dialogus ladies. We've got sort of two-tone red on the bottom half of her robes. You've got some white in there as well, and a bit of sort of brass and gold. But with our muscle moment, what I wanted to talk about with you this week was motivation. Why? Because I have none right now. Absolutely none. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. I have not been to the gym for 6 weeks, probably. 6 weeks. It's been really bad. Maybe not for 6 weeks. Maybe it's 4. I can't remember. But it's been at least 4 weeks, right? This happens to everyone. It happens to me quite regularly where I will find myself losing motivation. And I allow my discipline to slip. And then I go into this sort of phase where I haven't been to the gym for a little while. So I thought it's quite an appropriate thing to talk about. Also because it links very closely to our main topic of today, which is sort of mental health and geeky sort of stuff to help you get through the stresses of life. The first thing I wanted to say is with your fitness training and your goals, when you lose motivation, is it's completely okay that your motivation will come and go, right? So if Bearded Veteran or Exploring Unseen or Butterfly Horse, you're doing your training and it doesn't quite go the way you want, or you back off and you haven't done anything for a few weeks, like me, that's completely okay and it's completely normal, and don't get down about it. So that's the first rule. Don't get down. Doesn't matter, okay? We've got X amount of years on this planet to enjoy it as best we can. So couple of days, couple of weeks, whatever it is not the be all and end all. So you need to start restructuring your thinking around how you're going to go and start your training again. So why am I going to get back into training? That's the first question you're going to ask yourself. Well, Me, I want to get back into training because my arms are getting soft, or my chest is getting flabby, my man boobs are coming back, whatever it is, right? I want to get a little bit of fat off my belly, whatever that motivation is. Find that point, that reason, so you've got your justification, and then start to build out a framework around that justification, because that should then supply you with some motivation. Because I want to get rid of my saggy man boobs, all right? So there's my motivation. I don't want saggy man boobs. I'm 40 years old. I want to look young and healthy. And so I need to make sure that I start training. There's my motivation. Let's set some goals around that now. So start with something realistic. Don't start throwing yourself down a huge rabbit hole and watching XYZ influencers and all the rest of it. Take yourself into somewhere that is realistic for you. If you've never run a marathon, don't say you're going to run a marathon next week. Set it out so you're doing, all right, my first part is to build up to 5k, and then my second part is 10k, and then blah, 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 blah. So make a realistic, achievable goal, and you want some short-term goals, some long-term goals, and your, short, medium, and long-term goals. So like I said, your 5k is your short, your 10k is your medium, and then your long term is your marathon. Okay, so set it out like that. That really helps keep a fitness journey on track when you're trying to hit some real big targets. Celebrating progress. We love to celebrate progress. We do it here on the channel, right? When we're painting models and you guys all say to me, oh, that tank looks brilliant, or this looks really good, or blah, blah, blah. I really like that, or I really like this. That's celebration just in painting, but do that exactly that for models, right? For your fitness. Do exactly that. So if you're setting out, let's use I want to run a marathon, and you're trying to, I'm going to paint the model at the same time actually, guys. And you're thinking about running your marathon, and you've set your short, medium and long-term goals as 5k, 10k and marathon at the end. Okay, you then want to think, oh, I've lost my point. You then want to look at celebrating those as you go. So as you start ticking them off the list, make something special out of it. It might be something very little to others, but it might be exceptionally special to you in the sense that, right, I've done my 5k, right, I'm now going to buy myself a new pair of trainers because I freaking well deserve them. I've worked my arse off for that. And actually, I'm going to use them in my running as well. So reward yourself for something. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Setting little rewards. It could be that you want to buy yourself a new pack of Pokemon cards. So that's what you're going to do. When you've done 5 gym sessions, that entitles you as your reward to have 5 packets of Pokemon. I don't know. I'm just making it up now. But setting rewards for yourself, because otherwise things get a little bit boring, don't they, right? And it can get a bit stale, where you end up in a position where, you're not motivated to complete bloody anything because, well, what's the point? Oh, I can't do that and I can't do this, and well, I'll fail anyway. But if you've got something exciting to look forward to, that just gives you more justification and rationale to push yourself beyond the norm to get these things done, right? And that's exactly what we want. So make sure you celebrate your progress. Kind of linked to your initial motivation we talked about, and I don't really like this phrase, but I did put it in here, is finding your why. You see a lot of MLM type organisations using this, find your why, but it is relevant. So not only is it you want to sort of set out your motivation around, right, well, I want to get rid of my saggy man boobs because I'm Steve and I'm 40 and I've now got saggy man boobs. Well, I've got saggy man boobs and I want to get rid of them because I've booked myself a model photo shoot and I want to look good for it because I'm going to be in a magazine that's going to go across the world. Right? I don't know. That's not true, by the way, in any shape of the imagination. But it could be that, right? So not only have you got your sort of personal reason, but you've also got a secondary motivator that is going to help you achieve your goals. So find your why. It could be because you want to live longer for your children. I don't know. It could be absolutely anything. But set your why, and that should help spur you on just that little bit more. I just want to move the model around this way. What I should have done here, right? So I've actually, again, impatient Steve has stuck this on, and I shouldn't have stuck this on really because it's now really difficult to get to. And you're going to end up going all over the place on the rest of it. And I don't want to do that, but I ain't got a lot of choice because I've stuck it on already, guys. Silly Steve. There we go. What else from our muscle moment did I want to talk about? Let me check my notes. So yeah, overcoming setbacks. So once you've got that personal connection to it and you've found your why, it's now down to overcoming situational setbacks, right? How do you do that in this kind of environment when you're sort of working towards some physical goal? Well, this is probably, I think, the hardest part. It could be that you've set yourself a challenge to lose X amount of weight, right? But when you don't hit that goal, or you can't see that change, or you don't see X, Y, Z, or Y, how do you stay focused on that? For me, I think it's about constant reminders towards your goal. So it might be that in my office where I am now in the man cave, I might put little post-it notes around to say, come on Steve, pull your finger out, or don't get saggy man boobs, or something like that. I'll write little notes and reminders. It could be that you have a training buddy and you use that training buddy to then help inspire you. So I might text Squarish, or I might text Bearded Veteran, and they say to me, come on Steve, drag your fat ass out of bed, stop being lazy, because it's accountability. That will then end up dragging you out of bed and motivating you towards the pinnacles of fitness, we hope. So try to overcome setbacks by using support networks around you. Ties in nicely to our main theme, right? That would be my advice. Anyway, anyone else had some sort of, just before we finish up our muscle moment, anyone else got some pointers on fitness at all? Whether that be from their own experience, whether that be what they're trying to achieve right now. Does anyone have a question on fitness? Stick it in the chat if you do. I would love to hear from you. Just as we're painting this model, I'm painting off screen as I always do, as I forget. Sorry, guys. There we go. So if you've got anything on the fitness before we end up going back to our general chit-chat and model crap. Stick it in the old chat. Hey, exploring, welcome to the world of Steve. Yeah, welcome to the mad world that is me. Exploring, unseen, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hopefully I don't bore the living tits off you, and you manage to stick around for the end. We'll see. I hope I do a good job. Righty dokie, okay. Here we go, so she's getting there slowly. There's some shading to do on this paper, but on this parchment stuff, but she's getting there slowly. That's good. Alrighty. So back to our main topic of discussion. So we were talking about mental health and breaking down the stigma of geeks and that sort of stereotypical, and I use the example of men, but it doesn't have to be men, that men have to be tough and they have to be this and blah blah blah, but it doesn't have to be that at all. It can obviously apply to ladies. I just used that because I am a man and I can relate to that scenario is all. Yeah, geek culture also had, like, we talked about this multiple times, the sort of stigma around it not being cool anymore. But actually, it's coming back with a vengeance, baby. Geeks are going to rule the world. And we are going to rule the world, I think. And it's a far better way. It's a far better life anyway. Why have this sort of, thing where, or stigma that you can't say this or you can't do that because it's just not cool. Sod being cool, man. It's all about enjoying life. One thing I've realised, like, and I say it's like getting halfway through or over halfway through my life expectancy. Just enjoy it. You might not always have it forever, and you might not have those around you forever, and you might, fall ill or whatever. Just enjoy it. Get out and enjoy it with those that you want to enjoy it with. That's super important. And I don't think now, like looking back on my life, I wish I had done things slightly differently. But we'll see. Hey, Bearded Veteran creates, and thanks, says Exploring Unseen. Square's saying not so much fitness one, but like one thing with GMing for tag is the accountability. I know I have to get the next session prep. Yeah, 100%. Accountability really does help inspire you because it drags your ass out, because you think, I don't want to let these people down. Like every Friday, sometimes I don't want to jump on here because I'm tired, or in fact, no, I wouldn't say I don't want to jump on here, but sometimes I'm tired and I'm like, oh no, but I get on here and I write this and I do that or whatever it is, because I'm thinking, the guys are here, the girls are here, I just want to chat to everybody. Let's get on and do that. And it just gives me that reason and rationale to jump on. Square saying that's a good bit of motivation to get things done. Just finish the last bits of the planning, writing intro hook. Nice. I see if you just swore. Did I swear? Oh dear. Oh crikey. Oh, did I swear? What did I say? Did I say crap? That's not swearing though. Surely YouTube doesn't say crap is swearing, does it? Or did I drop an F-bomb or something? Oops. Sorry if I did. Yeah. Bearded Veteran and Square's just chatting about the game tomorrow on a Saturday night. So their Candela Obscura game. Hope that goes well, guys. I know it will go well because I've listened to Bearded Veteran's little recordings he puts on his... sorry, not Bearded Veteran. Squarish's recordings he does of his Candela Obscura sessions that he puts onto his YouTube channel. So he has his own little YouTube channel, like me, where he talks about things for Candela Obscura. So be that little sort of scenarios and storytellings that he puts on there from games. And they're really cool. They're super immersive, by the way. So if you want like a little storytelling thing to listen to, go on Squarish, put your thing into what's it called, into the Discord, into the chat, your Discord or your YouTube or whatever it is, into the chat so people can find you, because there's some really, really immersive cool stuff in there. Yeah. What's happening? I think it's often to find a little excuse not to do something, about a little bit of accountability. Yeah, there's always excuses, right? And humans are the kings of excuses. We're awful. So, and that's just natural. But we do love a good excuse. Oh no, I couldn't get that done because, well, actually, I didn't have enough time. Or I couldn't do it because of this. Or when 9 times out of 10, there ain't no real excuse. We've all got enough time to do what we should be doing, but we just simply don't. For whatever reason, we find an excuse. Exploring Unseen is saying just subscribe. Just subscribe to what, dude? Oh, do you mean you've subscribed to here, to the channel? You have just subscribed? Nice. Thank you very much, Exploring Unseen. If you have subscribed, welcome to Minis-N-Muscles. Square is saying, ironically, I need to find some motivation to get back into creating more videos for the channel. Dropped off while I was unwell, so I lost my voice. Yeah. Again, it's that. Look, now, Squarish, I'm going to be your accountability buddy here, and I'm going to say, I'm going to be watching your YouTube channel over the next week or so. You best produce some videos, or I'll unsubscribe. I won't really, but maybe I will. Maybe I will. How do you know I won't? But yeah, come on, you can do these. Bit of extra saying, you said tits. Oh, I'm the same with my life, so quite often I'll be hanging on my chin strap wishing I was back in bed until the intro starts playing and then I come alive again and feel great. Yeah, it's I did say TITS. That's not a swear though, is it? Come on. People don't class that as a swear, surely? Do they? Or do they? Maybe they do. If they do, then crikey. Well, TITS, I'll say it like that now, is far better than some of the swear words I say sometimes. I was dropping some big swears earlier whilst playing the Warhammer game, I tell you. Oh my lord. And I was getting my ass whooped. That wasn't good at all. I was dropping some big swears. Oh yeah, I was getting rather frustrated, but never mind. What else are we saying? Yeah, so we were talking about stereotypes and things like that, and I wanted to also say about blending sort of the two worlds together is what I'm trying to achieve here. So, you know, so people think that or can see and understand that actually it ain't that bad to be a geek. It don't really matter if you play Warhammer or if you play Dungeons and Dragons or you collect Pokemon cards or you do whatever. That's absolutely fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change you as a person. Doesn't mean you can't do X, Y, Z. You just do this as well. So, you know, it's important to embrace both sides of life. Because, again, I think people that don't, they must be freaking boring, right? Those that don't do anything at all. And they, oh, just going to the pub this weekend. How bloody boring is that? Like, oh, man. That it sucks. Well, maybe people find... Look, maybe it's just me. Maybe people find absolute delight in going to the pub, but... To be fair, I couldn't think of anything bloody worse. But then again, people probably couldn't think of anything worse than what I'm doing right now. So, horses for courses, I guess. But, as I said, I'm trying to blend the two. The world of fitness and sort of that, not macho image, because I don't think I particularly come across as a macho individual. I think I'm quite a nice person generally, but I'm just trying to blend that and just say that it's okay and, you know, we're all the same and it's all good in the hood. Mixing up these colours in the wet palette. So the old Dialogus is coming along slowly. Not a bad shout, I think this one's squarish to paint today. So if you didn't catch it earlier, a Dialogus in my Sisters of Battle army. She's a lady that comes in and inspires people by shouting sort of religious prayers, hymns, and that sort of stuff to the troops that are on the ground. Oh, I'm out of camera. Yeah, to the troops that are on the ground to keep them going when the times are hard. So I don't know if I've got a Dialogus in today. I don't... I do have one. I have one Dialogus over at my mate's house in this battle that we've got going. And she will need to be singing her absolute TITS's off. So that my girls can win. Come on, Battle Sisters. You got this. You can do it. You can pull it back. Don't let these Grey Knights beat you. Rather tough, though. That's no excuse. There we go. Oh, keep on going off camera, don't I? So keep on going right rogue. Sorry, guys. What we got in here? Of course, it is. Why else would people be calling each other a tit? Yeah. Really? That's a swear word? No, that's not a swear. It's an insult maybe, but it's not a swear. I'm saying it's not a swear. I'm not going with that. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying it. That's a swear word. No way. go. Add a little bit of that in there. That in there. Just doing a couple of little really itty bitty details. Oh yeah, I forgot to do that. That needs painting, didn't it? The fleur-de-lis. Well, it's not actually a fleur-de-lis, is it? It's slightly different. It's the symbol of the Battle Sisters, but it looks very similar to a fleur-de-lis. Oh, that is bright red in the centre there. Damn. Okay. So, that's what I was going to ask you guys. So how has your sort of hobbies in the last sort of 10 minutes, I just wanted to wrap up really with, because it's a shorter stream tonight than it is normally. So we're finishing in at 1:30, but I wanted to ask you guys actually, in your experiences, if you want to share that is, what has positively impacted you in a sort of mental health way since you've been doing your geeky stuff? Now, I don't need to know what your mental health struggles were at all. That's not what I'm asking you. I'm just saying, you know, have you got any examples of how things have helped you as an individual? You know, was it that you've just found that playing tabletop role-playing games is really good because it allows you to break through your phobia, right? You've got a phobia of something, and playing these games has allowed you to tackle that phobia. Have you guys got any examples of how things have helped you, benefited you? For me, I'm not a particularly sociable person, believe it or not. I do like people, but actually I find that I get quite annoyed with people quite quickly, and I get grumpy. So, but doing this kind of thing has made me more sociable. So playing Dungeons and Dragons and playing video games, playing Warhammer has made me be more sociable, which for me is a good thing. And obviously in doses, in small doses, so I don't overwhelm myself. But it's a good thing because it sort of pushes me outside of my comfort zone a little bit, and you know, it makes me do stuff that I might not have normally done. I think I'm using too big a brush here for this part. Yeah, so that's one of my reasons and what I've found. Another good positive reason for me is it's massively helped my creative thinking. And creative thinking, as I said, I think is a super vital skill set for that escapism part of the world. And all these sort of things, because they're not real, you know, they're fantasy worlds or whatever, I found that they just really help, you know, take me into that sort of escapist world and get me away from the real stuff and allow me to think in a completely different manner to what I normally would. You know, I'm not thinking in it with a business head on now. I'm thinking with a enjoyment head, and you know, it's allowed me to expand that creative thinking, which is really cool. Because I think probably before my creative thinking was not very good, but now I find it a lot better. So if I sort of think about a little story or something, I can quite quickly craft a story in my head about something very quick, and it will be a pretty decent story too. Bit that I haven't got to is being able to write lots of it. I can't do that yet. And by the way, before anyone says I know I've gone over the lines on this and I know I've cocked this right up, but I'm just seeing it through here to get to the end. I've not done a very good job at all, because I've used far too big a brush and I've kind of ballsed it up, but that's alright. There we go. Oh no, I've just painted the candles gold. What's everyone doing for the weekend anyway? Has anyone got any special plans? Going anywhere? Doing anything nice? Square saying, I think for me it's helped me find a creative outlet, a new way to find connections outside of my work life. Yeah, true. Yeah, I think that's probably true for me as well, actually. You know, I wouldn't have met you, for example, without the creative world that is the geek culture. So yes, I'd agree with that. Definitely. There we go. I'm just sort of wazzing the gold on real quick. I still, as you've noticed, I still haven't moved to a smaller paintbrush. I'm being stubborn and just going for it, which I probably shouldn't do. You know, sometimes you just get lazy and you just can't be bothered to change your brush. And that's what I'm doing right now, can you believe? Right now. Ah, never mind. And again, yes, I know I'm going over the lines. Completely know I'm going to have to redo a lot of this. Here we go. Well, last couple of minutes of the show, guys, tonight. As I said, because we're doing a bit of a shorter stream this evening. Because I need to go and finish getting my ass kicked on the Warhammer table. And I don't have my models. I don't have my iPad or anything. I left it over there, so I need to go retrieve it all and get it back home. What's everyone doing tonight? Are you doing anything else special tonight? Is anyone else painting? That's a question, actually. Have I even inspired anyone to paint anything? That would be interesting to know. If anyone never painted before and they've just found my channel and started painting, that would be quite cool. How's she looking? She's not looking too bad, is she? She's looking alright, I guess. She's looking okay. That's not bad for a quick sesh. Yeah, she's. I'm not too sad with that. Like, that's what she should look like. This is where we are right now. So you can see where we've got to, right? That's all right. It's not a bad effort for a quick dash. There's obviously lots of detail missing, but it's not too bad, right? It's okay. Next time, I will use the right darn brush. That would help. Oh, so let's put the lid onto that. So what we've got happening in chat? Exploring Unseen saying, I don't really know. I don't really do anything over the week. Exploring Unseen. Right. Come on. You don't do anything over a weekend. Come on. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Right. Must do something. We're talking about hobbies, right? Look what we're doing tonight. Painting minis. Could you paint minis? Could you read a fantasy novel? Could you go to the cinema and watch? I wouldn't recommend Wicked because I didn't really like that. I thought it was pretty naff compared to the theatre. Gladiator 2 was okay. But could you watch a movie? Could you do a movie marathon? Could you go to the gym and do a workout? Come on, Exploring Unseen. You could do something this weekend. I want you to think of something and action that and get that done this weekend. Bearded Veteran saying, for me, it helped me to learn that it's okay to be my creative, artistic self, because growing up I was always made to believe that creativity was something to kill time that could be better spent working. Oh yeah, 100% agree with that. I think creativity is... I think the majority of people that make it in the world are creative people, right? So when you're stifled, and school's terrible for this, where it stifles you and says, oh, you shouldn't do this or you should do that, it kind of puts you right down. So I agree with you, Bearded Veterans. It's like the sort of youth, growing up as a youth in that sort of school environment does shatter your dreams, because they tell you everything you do is wrong and you shouldn't do this and you should do that. So yeah, that's not so good. Red Jasper saying, it's not over till it's over, mate. Yes, I know. We're going to get there. The Sisters of Battle will do something and they'll win. Hopefully. Bearded Veteran saying, you inspired me to paint that dragon. Now I actually use figure painting as a bit of enjoyable palette cleanser when I need a break between my other models. Yeah, man, nice. That's cool. I do remember, actually. Bearded Veteran saying, exploring, you not starting your Tiger Moth. Ah, so exploring and saying, oh yeah, I got some paints for it today. Not sure which ones to use. Oh, so you got a Tiger Moth exploring unseen. So I guess you also watch Bearded Veteran Creates channel, I'm guessing. That is very, very cool. So you've got a Tiger Moth to paint. Right, okay. So you've got some paints for it. Not sure which ones to use, right? When I first started painting, apart from this army, because this is all about following the box art, because I'm trying to paint them in this style, I just, I did use the box art anyway to start with, just to give me some inspo, because like on these ones, like look, gives you some nice little pictures about the front and the back and how to paint it. If you don't know the colours, just go off box art, man. It's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. And if not, as I started painting more in a creative manner, especially with Dungeons and Dragons figures, it was just fun to start painting in different vibes. So get yourself a little colour wheel. Have you seen the colour wheels? Which help give you the opposite colours, so you can sort of find things that match and look good. So I'd advise looking at that. You can just print one off of the internet or use it off your phone. Well, we can always chat about it in the Discord if you want, bud. Ah, look at Bearded Veteran being so kind. Depends on your feelings. Are you looking for realistic, or are you looking for fun, or are you just looking for downright crazy? Why could your Tiger Moth not be tiger colours but psychedelic? Who's to say? But anyway, my peeps, it has got to that time where I am to say goodbye to you. It's a slightly shorter stream today than usual, but I want to say a big thank you to absolutely every one of you. So, Squarish, Butterfly Horse, Exploring Unseen, Bearded Veteran, Red Jasper, Pibsy, Gav, everyone that's dropped in today to say hello. Thank you so much. I appreciate every single one of you. It's a pleasure to chat to you on my Friday evenings. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Make sure you do something fun. Make sure you relax and chill. Take yourself away from the stressful environment that is the world we live and work in, and take yourself to a place that is cool, full of wonder, full of a mystical fantasy sort of world, whether that is playing Fortnite or painting models or whatever that is you do to relax. Take yourself there and chill and relax and enjoy with your loved ones. As always, thank you for being here. I love every single one of you. Please like, subscribe, turn your notifications on. Please do share the channel with others, just to get some more people in, so we can have more of a chat and more fun. Exploring Unseen, absolute pleasure having you here. Absolute pleasure. So thank you for joining in. Remember, if you need any motivation on your fitness, drop me a line. I will help you. Maybe you can help me, inspire me to get back into it and get back on the fitness train. I need some gains. Bearded Veteran saying, have a great game and a good week. See you on the Discord. Yes, you shall, sir. Fingers crossed for the Sisters of Battle. Let's say some prayers and some hymns and get them there. I will see you all next Friday. We will have the tank back. And I will also paint some stuff in between, hopefully, just to bring us up to speed a little bit, because we should have been painting it tonight. And I will catch you all very, very soon. Red Jasper's saying, cheers, Steve. Really enjoyed the first, or my live first trip. Yeah, so this is Red Jasper's first live. He normally watches in playback. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's good to have you here, bro. Yeah, as I say, I think we've said enough. Thank you all. Pleasure as always. Make sure you subscribe, share with your buddies. Remember, just subscribe on your mums and your nans and everyone else's. Let's get these numbers up. Let's get some more people online. But have an absolute wicked weekend, and I shall see you all very, very soon.
Minis and muscles, we're heroes.